Welcome back. On Mother's Day, I had the great pleasure of speaking with a woman named Becca Allen. She's a foster mom living in the New Haven area who, with her husband and 2 children, has provided a loving and safe home to 7 foster children over 5 years. I asked her how she got into foster parenting.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. So a couple of years ago, my husband and I, we had job changes, and our kids were starting 8th grade and early high school. And the energy and kind of the activity level in our own home and family started to shift, as it does. And I went to a community event, and there was a foster mom who shared her experience of being a foster parent. And it really, really changed the narrative about what foster care is and who foster kids are and foster parents. And she really invited us into a conversation of thinking about foster care differently. So I went home. I said to my husband, like, hey, things are happening different in our house. Do you think we can open up our home to someone else's child? And he wholeheartedly said yes. And I have to say, we've never looked back. We've jumped in, and it's been one of the most rewarding experiences of our life.
So you said you've had 7 foster children in your New Haven home over the past 5 years. Tell us about who these children are. These are long-term fosters, so they're little babies, and then you have them for a period of time. How does it work?
We did. So we had 3 long kids that stayed with us on a longer term basis. And it's never really set out that way. It's you just kind of open your home to kids that need it. And then the other kids were respite. So that was relieving the foster parent who needed to go on vacation, work, travel. We brought those kids in for a week or a weekend. But our longer term kids stayed anywhere between 6 months and 2 years.
One of the things I thought was interesting when you were telling our producer about doing this, those longer-term fosters, you said when they leave, you always took a break because there's a grieving process when that child leaves your house. And of course there is. It makes sense, but I had never thought about it, Becca. So explain that to people that, you know, this becomes a part of your life.
Absolutely. I think it's also in the response like, oh, it's so great that you do that. I could never give the kids away. And the kids need to show us, for us to show up. They need us to love them wholeheartedly. And part of that is, you know, having them, the whole point of this is having them get reunited with their own parents. And there is a time after that where you take a break and you recenter and you regroup. And loss and grieving is just part of the process. But it's a natural process of letting go. It's nothing special, but we create room for it within our family.
You talk about reuniting those kids with their biological parents, and you said you try to think of yourself as being on that parent's team. You're just a member of that team trying to get that kid where they need to be to reunite with their family. I think that's an interesting way of looking at it. And why? How did you come to that view of the world, and why does it help?
I have to say that has been my most favorite part of foster care is partnering with the bio parents. And I say bio is biological birth parents. And it's my job to make sure that I provide quality parenting. It's the bio parents' job to make sure that they provide bio parenting. And what makes it the game changer is when we do it together. So DCF is all about reunification. So making sure that we all have a role to play to bring to get the family back together as soon as possible. And it's, you know, I was thinking about what if my child were removed and they were in a home or somewhere I had no idea. And it made me think like the best response is to introduce myself to the family as soon as possible so that they can ask me questions, they can get to know me. Even better, I get to know them and I get to find out how to parent their child while I'm for the time that they're with me. And I think the most important thing about partnering with bio parents is to assure them that their child, their loved one is being cared for, supported, and safe, and that I am the #1 person on their team fighting to get the child back to them.
I think just listening to you talk, our whole audience can see how much these children must have gotten out of being in your home and having you help get them back to their parents. But what did you get out of it?
Oh, wow. You know, I think professionally in my life, I've been in leadership positions where I have led staff and organizations on how to provide person-centered planning and how to be in partnership with the people we serve in human services. And what was the game changer for me is I got to do it one family at a time. And I've also been able to kind of bring my experience being in human services to the table and figure out how to best kind of support that mom, typically mom, kind of go through the process to get the best results that she wanted. So, and all the while being able to snuggle and love up little kids. I mean, the kids are the best part.
Well, you've put together quite an advertisement for the program, and we'll tell people how they can get involved in it later. But I want to leave you with this on this Mother's Day. Parenting is hard, Becca. We all know that. Anyone who has a kid knows how hard parenting is. Can you give us anything that you've gleaned from working with these kids? Is there some philosophy you've learned, some advice you can give? Maybe there's a mom celebrating her first Mother's Day and she hasn't had sleep in months and she's saying, Becca, help me. What do you got?
Take deep breaths, right? Like it is such a journey. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it does go by really fast. And we all need support, And we all, whether it's friends or family or as a foster parent, this random mom that kind of comes into your world, it's okay. And that's about how to build community to kind of get through this amazing journey of parenting.
Great advice. That is CT21 for this week. CBS Sunday Morning is next. Have a great rest of the weekend. We'll meet you back here with a brand new episode in Studio A next Sunday morning.
Thanks for watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Watch us live wherever you are on our mobile, on our streaming news app. And you can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.